The story begins in a Siberian prison where many German soldiers are standing in line. After World War II ended, Russia had captured thousands of German soldiers and forced them to work day and night in coal mines. The prison itself didn't have very strict security, but no one dared to escape because for thousands of kilometers there was nothing but snow and ice. Human settlement was about 14,000 kilometers away, so if any prisoner even dreamed of escaping, death in the freezing Siberian cold was certain. That's why no prisoner ever managed to escape, or even think of escaping. But among those prisoners, there was one man who was different, clever and determined. His name was Clemens Forell. He had been sentenced to 25 years in this prison, but he wasn't willing to spend half of his life behind bars. He wanted at any cost to escape and return to his family. One day, luck favored him. Clemens found a chance, sneaked into a freight train, and escaped. Outside the prison, when he looked up at the sky full of stars, he was overwhelmed with joy. But soon the train was stopped, and a Russian soldier caught him at gunpoint. He was dragged back, locked up for 2 days, and then released to the furious prisoners. Since they hadn't been fed for 2 days because of his escape attempt, they beat him badly. Injured, he was taken to the prison hospital. The prison doctor, himself a German prisoner, treated him. When Clemens regained consciousness, he told the doctor, "I want to escape again. I need your help." The doctor was shocked at his determination, but warned him that escaping alive was nearly impossible. Still, he admitted that working in the coal mines was slow death anyway. Because of poisonous gases, many prisoners eventually developed cancer. He told Clemens, "If you get a chance, you must try one last time." The doctor gave him his own warm clothes, boots, supplies, and even a gun. In fact, he had collected these things for his own escape, but recently he had learned he was terminally ill with cancer and had only a month to live. He also gave Clemens a lunchbox, asking him, "If you survive, give this to my family and tell them I am gone." That night, Clemens escaped again, this time on foot. The next morning, when the warden discovered it, he went to the doctor's room, only to find that the doctor had ended his life. The warden ordered his soldiers to search for Clemens alive, but despite days of searching, he was nowhere to be found. Most believed he had frozen to death, but the warden refused to give up, convinced that Clemens was too strong to die so easily. Meanwhile, Clemens was fighting his way through the blizzards. 9 days passed. Exhausted, starving, and weak, he collapsed. Then, by chance, he spotted a seal. He tried to shoot but missed. Desperate, he chased it and finally, with his last bullet, killed it. That meal gave him the strength to continue. For 2 months, he walked alone across endless snow, talking to himself to stay sane, keeping his compass close to avoid losing his way. Then, one day, he saw a small tree. Overjoyed, he ran to embrace it, because it meant the icy plains were ending and a forest was near. But danger wasn't over. While moving through the forest, a powerful snowstorm struck. A falling tree nearly killed him, but 2 gold prospectors saved his life. The 3 men continued together. On their journey, Clemens even saved one of them from drowning in a river. But greed poisoned their bond. One man betrayed and killed the other over gold. Later, mistrust turned against Clemens too. He was attacked, knocked unconscious, and left for dead. When he awoke, wolves surrounded him. He climbed a tree, but the tree broke and he fell. Just when death seemed certain, hunters appeared and shot the wolves. They carried Clemens to their village, where he was nursed back to health. At last, after years of struggle, he had reached human settlement, but safety didn't last. A letter arrived from the prison warden, warning villagers that helping a German prisoner would bring death. To protect them, Clemens left. A hunting dog was given to him for companionship, and together they continued the journey. The dog became his loyal partner, but during one escape, when soldiers and the warden cornered him, the dog attacked the warden to save Clemens and was shot dead. Heartbroken, Clemens fled, jumping onto a moving train to escape once again. Years passed. By 1952, 7 years after his escape, Clemens had made it to Central Asia. In a village fair, hungry and penniless, he longed for food. 2 girls were selling pancakes. One of them, out of pity, gave him a piece for free. Another man noticed this. Later, he approached Clemens. He too had once been a German prisoner, and instead of handing Clemens over, he sheltered him, shaved his beard, gave him new clothes, and arranged a fake passport so he could cross into Germany. At the border, Clemens' heart pounded. Would the soldiers recognize him? Fortunately, they let him through. Smiling with relief, he walked onto the bridge. But suddenly, a bright light fell on him. The warden was there waiting. Clemens froze. He thought all his struggle was wasted. But then, something unexpected happened. The warden simply stepped aside and let him go. He had been deeply moved by Clemens' willpower and unbreakable spirit. Clemens crossed the border and finally reached Germany. He went home and after years saw his wife and daughter again. His daughter ran into his arms and his wife's eyes filled with tears. At last, after endless suffering and unshakable determination, Clemens was reunited with his family.